I have this friend who never leaves the husband despite her being abused all the time. She's in a very toxic relationship and she keeps reporting this guy to the police but goes ahead and drops the charges and say it was a miscommunication. Until now she has already lost her validity. So she doesn't report anymore. But she's been in this relationship for the longest time. I wonder what's keeping her in this relationship. Do you have such a friend? Or are you that type of a person who is unable to leave their partner? You feel like you cannot. There's this story I read somewhere. There's this guy who had a friend, and I think these are stories that relate with what I'm talking about. So he had a friend who used to stay in the house for the longest. He would stay in the house from morning to evening. And every time he could step out, he would have palpitations and a lot of anxiety. He will not step out for that reason. He just feared stepping out. He has a fear of death, fear of everything. He fears people around him. He just sees everything as scary. I wanted to know why. Can people change? That's what really shook me. And this guy said his friend wanted to change a lot. He wanted to step out into society. But there's this psychologist who challenged this argument. So there are these two theories. One is for a great psychologist called Freud. And then there's this other psychologist who is not so popular, but is called Alfred Adler. Okay. So Adler has the Adlerian psychology. Adlerian psychology concentrates on theology. Theology is a form of psychology that argues people stay in a situation because they have a goal or purpose. Okay? They stay in a situation because they want to stay in that situation. So Alder argued, Alfred Alder argued that people can decide on how to control their emotions. People can decide on how to live a happy life. It's a personal decision. And on the other hand, argued another perspective. He had a psychological thought of a theology in a way that there is a cause for everything. This young guy said his friend used to stay in the house because he underwent a certain trauma when he was young. He cannot leave the house because his parents really demolished his self-esteem. He cannot interact with people and he sees everyone as a threat. On the other hand, Alda argued that you just stay in this situation of unhappiness or in a wrong relationship because you have your goal. You are blaming it on trauma and other things just to achieve what you really want. Is this true? I think it's true. I've been in many situations where I could have left a toxic environment, but because I wanted something to gain out of it, I wouldn't live. Okay? There's this job where I used to work. There's this workplace, okay? And it was very toxic. People would shout at me, people would yell at me. And every time I would wish I get out, but I would feel like I cannot get out. When I read Alfred's theory, I understand why. Because I really wanted money. And this company paid well, so I wouldn't leave this workplace. The purpose was that I had a goal to achieve and I needed money, so I could not leave this place. So it's not like I couldn't change my environment. The problem is I had a purpose to achieve, so I did not leave this work environment, an unhealthy place. All right. You are in such a situation right now, a state of unhappiness, and I believe it's your choice. You are in an abusive relationship. You do not want to leave the person. you fear leaving the lady because you have a purpose or something you're holding on to. There's something that you blame. You cause excuses about trauma, about you have kids with this person, about you cannot leave your kids with the lady or something, or you cannot leave the kids with the dad. But there's a purpose. Most women stay in abusive relationships because the man is providing or because this man is romantic in some other way. So you do not want to leave this benefit. You're not sure you'll get them elsewhere. That's why you are staying in that toxic relationship over and over again. You keep defending this guy. And if you're a man out there and you're in a toxic relationship, maybe this woman is too beautiful. You do not believe you can get a more beautiful woman. Or when she's sweet, she's too sweet. And you do not believe you'll get a sweeter person than this person you are with. So there's always a purpose that keeps you in that situation. How many times have we seen a person who has cheated and has kids outside the marriage, and now the kids are not for this man, but the man says, I will not leave, I'll stay with you? Do you think maybe some of them stay out of will? They love these people, but some argue that they really wanted to leave, but they cannot. Do you think they cannot? Yeah. Some of you are really trying to quit alcohol and drugs, but you say you cannot. These addictive behaviors that you have, you say you cannot quit them. Why do you think you cannot quit? It's because there's that reward that you're longing for. It's not like you cannot change. It's that you have a purpose to achieve. It's something you want. It's not something you cannot change. And if you ask most people who have these bad behaviors, they will tell you they really want to change. But unfortunately, they say they cannot change, which is not true. Everyone can change. It's just, what do you really want? What is your purpose? I do not believe in a theology where there are traumas, there are causes. I do not believe in this because it's more like a theory that supports mediocrity. Okay? If you underwent trauma, does not mean that you should transfer the trauma into the next person. It does not mean that you should live in a cave because of this trauma. It means you really want something out of this situation you are in right now. You cannot blame your past for what you are undergoing right now. It's about what you really want. What does your heart really want? If you are not in a position to quit alcohol right now, it means your heart really wants that aftermath of alcohol. You really want the enjoyment, the good feeling of it. But once you really want to take care of your health, and that's your main goal, then you will quit alcohol, you will quit bad relationships, you will quit chasing women, because now you have a better goal, a better thing to achieve. What about you? What is your thinking? Thank you and see you on the next episode. My name is Gada Fanda. I'm the host of the Worldview Podcast. Find me on YouTube at the Worldview Podcast _ as we discuss important issues in life. Give me your comments down below. Share this video, like, comment, and I appreciate you. God bless you.